Day 6. Wow, day 6 already. How amazing. Don't know what to talk about really. Suppose I'll just say about this day really. Very little sleep last night, 4.5 hours. You know, late going to bed, about 1:30. About 6 o'clock up. Straight out on the bike for only an 11-mile ride, which for me is really poor. You know, I normally do minimum 20 plus, you know, between 20 and 40 probably. So 11's all I could do. 11 is all I could do. I did a circular ride, I worked it out, and I'm glad I kept it at 11 because the legs just absolutely hurt going up hills. There's no carbs. I have no carbs in my body, and you know, running on fat, you don't get much energy. You know, I'm glad I don't do the Atkins diet because I guess you're going to be like that all the time. Are there many athletes on who do the Atkins? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think it would be very possible. Yeah, and then I went down to the town. When I got back, I went for a walk down to the town. I had a bit of stuff to do down there, so that gave me a 2-mile walk with a nice climb up the hill there. So, you know, gentle exercise, not really, but not bad because I've cut down, and you know, my average speeds on the bike is so ridiculous compared to what they were just a week ago. But there you go, that's all the joys of the fast. And yeah, I've been feeling really positive today, you know, by reading and by remembering why one does this. You know, I want to change what's been going on with me. It's just not right, you know. And you know, I read and researched fasting for probably 6 months before I've actually undertaken it. It's not something that can be taken lightly, really. Well, you're welcome to have a go at it, but you know, I don't think I don't think you'll get much joy if you just think, oh, I'll do a fast, see how I get on, because after about 3 days or 2, or even maybe 1 day, you're going to be crawling up the walls, you know. But you know, whatever. I keep saying, you know, my brain isn't functioning properly. Yeah, and that's because I've no sleep 4 hours, 4.5 hours sleep, and then the exercise a day, and I need to go and have a little rest now. I need to lie down for a couple of hours, and I'll probably sleep as well, which would be lovely, and then I'll wake up again and feel better. Because as soon as I get tired, then that's a danger time, because your mind starts to, you know, look at other things, and food is one of those other things that can creep into your thoughts. Not very nice, or very nice. What else do I want to say? Just briefly, there's this program on the television called the Food Hospital. It's a UK program, and they sort of study people who come in who have got various conditions, you know, that normally they're suffering from all sorts of things, chronic obesity or it can be anything, you know, it can be hair loss or different types of disorders, and they this gang of a few doctors and this nutritionist, yeah, very highly qualified UK nutritionist who seems to miss the point a lot of the time. Anyway, they treat these people by changing their diet, and but in a very, very conservative way, and not even in a healthy way, because they don't try and eliminate the stuff that virtually everybody knows is harmful, such as dairy. Actually, not everybody knows that, but anyway, they try and promote dairy, and they promote meat, which is absolute bollocks. And you know, and so some of these people you come in are pretty ill, but they respond accordingly because the diets will be a lot better than some people are doing. You know, a lot of people don't seem to have any type of quality of food. Anyway, yesterday, the program wasn't yesterday, but I watched it yesterday. Saw this one with and they had a fruitarian come on the program. Now this guy, I've got to say, this guy was probably the most healthy, fittest looking person that's ever been on that program. He was lean and mean, and he was in his early 30s, and was very happy with what he was doing, and they just took him to pieces, really. It was obvious he was fit. It was so you just look at somebody, they're fit, but they couldn't handle it, and this is what happens in the Western world with the doctors and the so-called dietitians, who seem to know very little about nutrition. Otherwise they wouldn't be promoting such as dairy, which has got to be one of the most evil things that we consume. Anyway, and it was really interesting, and they just said that he had problems with his bones. He had the bones of a 50-year-old, and that he had too much iron, which was building up in his liver. Too much iron. I mean, when I went and asked to have my bloods done at a local GP, because I wanted to check to see how I was doing, which is quite a battle in itself. First thing he said was, "You're probably not going to have, you're going to be short on protein. One of the things for sure you'll be short on is iron." Anyway, this guy apparently had 3 times the level, but he was doing really well. He wasn't struggling. He wasn't suffering with anything, and some of the expression. This nutritionist Lucy Jones. I don't know if I should mention her name, but anyway, unbelievable. Her face grimacing when this bloke said, "Well, for a start, I had 4. This is my diet. I had 4 mangoes." And she was going, "Oh my God, all that fruit!" And all that sugar. Yeah, it is a lot of sugar, but that's what the body runs on. We run on carbohydrate. It's when we put fat in there that it all goes wrong. It's the fat, not the carbs. And just, God, how do you get that over? I don't know. But it's pretty obvious, and it does work. So the interesting bit was when that finished, I sort of tried to look this bloke up. I watched the food hospital, and there's actually a link to 30 Bad, which is 30 bananas a day, which is a website for fruitarians. And he's a member of this site, and there's loads of feedback posted on there, and he was saying that he filmed, the filming for that program went on for 4 hours, and he was promoting the diet very heavily, and mentioning certain long-termers who've been doing it, such as Doug Graham, and it was all edited out. Of course, it would all be edited out, because they call it an extreme diet. Well, I think slaughtering animals and all the blood and the guts and the murder that goes on, I think that's quite extreme, really. So whether you're eating fruit off a tree, which you don't have to do anything to, is extreme. I think they might be a little bit skew-whiffed there, but it was great to be able to contact, to touch base with him, and he's had loads of positive feedback anyway. So this society we live in is not particularly it's not particularly friendly to anything which is slightly outside of the ordinary, and ordinary is killing us. It's killing us. It's destroying us. I don't know. Maybe I'll continue this when I've got a bit of a clearer mind. I just feel very not angry, but yeah, angry. Sorry, angry is the word. I feel very angry about the way that I feel angry that I've been so misled for so many years, and that our governments, all the Western governments, who know a lot of the facts, and all the people in the authorities who know the facts, do not put it out there, and it's all promoted by the food industries and unbelievable. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but when I was out cycling the other day, just looking at all the rubbish that's lying around on the side of the roads. We live in in a beautiful part of the UK here. Not particularly beautiful today because it's just started to lash down, but that's why it's so green. Green England, green countryside. But the rubbish that's in the verges all the way along, and it's all to do with food or drugs, or it's cigarette packets, it's food containers of some sort, tin cans of cola, of stuff like that, rubbish drinks which are no good, absolute crap. The big burger places, McDonald's, all the people just throw it out the window of the car, but it's like they can't stand to have it in the car. Is it because they feel guilty or something? Or why do they just need to throw it out the window into the countryside, Plastic cups everywhere, plastic bottles, Why do we need all this rubbish? Do we need it? We don't need it. It's just rubbish, We just create rubbish. We're consumer society, wrecking our world. And anyway, it's a nice little rant. But yeah, I think we're going to have a lie down. It's great to touch base with everybody, and I look forward to sharing day 7 tomorrow. And that's good, it seems quite long when you're doing it, but I'm doing it, and I seem to be getting more committed as I go along. By day 2 I was thinking, oh God, this is so tough. But now I'm thinking, actually, there's going to be a lot of benefits from this as well. Lot of benefits, and there is pain. There is quite a bit of pain at the moment, and it's emotional pain. It's the emotional rawness. When you remove every single, I used to eat my emotions. I ate my emotions. Yum yum yum, stuff. Get in there. Don't do anything, smoke, drink alcohol, just don't feel it, Food is the worst, and well, probably not in a lot of people's eyes, but people won't admit that they're doing it, cramming food in, don't even know they're doing it, and just stuffing down the emotions, and obviously these sort of recreational drugs and alcohol and all that, just being raw, being completely with nothing, makes you feel sort of alive, and it's difficult, everything's making me burst into tears at the moment. Really odd, and I'm one of those that have been taught not to cry, boarding school person, men are men, all that. Yeah, right. Okay, bye. I'll touch base with you again tomorrow.